Tim, the handsome liberal. This is the early short live. We're going to do a full live later on. This is not the actual live we're going to be doing. Now, obviously, the summit between Putin and Trump is ongoing, so it has not concluded. That's why I'm suggesting we're going to be doing an additional live. This will be a short live. We'll be around probably for an hour or so, but we're going to do a full live tonight, and we'll be detailing the results of what was discussed at this summit. But we're going to do a little speculating, a little conversating right now, and I want to hear from you folks whether or not, or better yet, how you feel about what's going on. Now, we're in our feelings today. This is feelings over facts, kind of the opposite of what you often hear from MAGA, facts over feelings. This is going to be the opposite because we don't know what the hell's coming out of this. We do not know what's coming out of this until the summit concludes. But I'm going to be asking the question, do you think it'll be successful? Now, the goal is obviously to stop the fighting between Russia and the Ukraine. Do you think Trump will succeed at doing that? Do you think that Trump will actually get a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine? Now, there's obviously some really big parameters to make this happen. Number one being Ukraine wants their territory back. Putin in Russia does not seem to indicate that they intend to do that. And the Ukraine does not seem to indicate that they want a ceasefire under the conditions of lost territory, lost land. Now, Trump, and I've been talking to Trump supporters about this all day. Look, supporters of Trump and Trump are obviously two different entities, but supporters of Trump seem to think that in effort to stop the killing, the Ukraine should be okay with, basically surrendering the territory that Russia already has, or at least some of it, and moving on. The Ukraine, the belief is that the Ukraine has no way of ultimately defeating Russia, and their demise is only a matter of time. So since the Ukrainians are going to lose anyway, they should read the writing on the wall, according to Trump and many MAGA, and just be happy with losing a small amount of their land as opposed to the whole country. This is the belief from MAGA and sounds like President Trump himself. So I want to ask you folks right off the bat, do you agree with that? By way of yes or no in the comments. Do you, in effort to broker peace, do you believe the Ukrainians should at least be willing to cede some of their land to Russia and understand that they're going to lose some land in this process? Do you believe that they to get peace, they should be willing to give up at least some territory? State yes if you think so, no if you think not. Now, there's obviously a huge issue about that. If they cede land, or at least some part of their country, to Russia, would that be under the guise that they feel confident that Russia will never attack again? Because that's the issue. Russia went in 2008 to Georgia, Crimea, I think in 2014 or 2012, something like that. And then, of course, in 2022 or 2021, it was in February, I think, of 2022. I'm not for sure which year this current war began. Maybe it was 2022, but it was in February of 2022 or 2021. This kicked off. So Russia has taken 3 snipes at this area. 2008, 2014, and now here we go again. So the question obviously is, do you think that if Ukraine secedes some of their country, that'll be it? Russia won't attack anymore. That's what obviously the Ukrainians would have to be feeling confident of if they give up some of their land. So I want to ask you folks that. Continuing on, we're going to be also asking, does this show that Trump is a better leader internationally than Biden? Because Biden wasn't speaking to Putin. Biden was just shaming Putin. Trump is actually reaching out, trying to meet the guy and broker peace, whereas Biden was just going to continue funding or providing weapons to the Ukraine, and the war could have, went on and on and on and on. So we're going to compare Biden's response to this war versus Trump, and whether Trump is doing a better job than President Biden was. And of course, we're going to be asking, we're going to be asking, what happens if Russia attacks again? What should the United States do? If the Ukraine secedes some of their land, or however it ends, we're going to be asking, what should America do if Russia doesn't keep their hands off? DJ Julio, appreciate that. DJ Julio, good to see you in the comments there. Trump is a criminal, just like Putin. Damn. Two peas in a pot? Is that what that says? They're two peas in a pod, rather. They're all about what they can get for thee, and then it breaks off. Anyway, we're going to go and start reading the comments. We're going to go ahead and start taking calls. You know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor any damn body in here. So it's all about free speech. You can be critical of anybody in the comment section, up to and including yours truly. It's all free speech here. We are MAGA friendly. We've been that way since day one. We always will be, always have been. We go left of Bernie Sanders to him having dinner with Q. So that's how open this forum is. It's always been that way. We don't have a moderator. We don't do things like that. It's all about letting the people speak. So if you haven't currently watching us, today we're on Clapper, TikTok. Feel free to follow the program if you're watching on any of those particular apps. And if you're currently watching on YouTube, give your boy a sub. So looking in the comments, sell out Julio. Who is saying that DJ Julio is a sellout? Freedom fighter, what is making you say that? Trump now, what does that say? It's Trump now, how bad can my debt possibly be? I don't understand what you're saying about that. So what do you think? You think Trump is going to be successful? We're going to talk about it from that angle. We're not trying to compare anything, because of two things are not comparable. There's a lot of things that can be compared, Carlos. There's absolutely a lot of things that can be compared, because Biden was involved in the war as well. Now Trump is president, and we're still involved in the war. If the war is ended under Trump with a peaceful solution, and it was not under Biden, that gives Trump some sort of credit that doesn't go to Biden. Is Trump a better president for what's going on now than Biden? Is he taking a better approach for America than Biden? Because Trump is reaching out to both sides. He's meeting with both leaders, as opposed to Biden only meeting with Zelensky. Is Trump doing a better job at this? Is he likely to have a better chance at success? Going straight to the box, what war? The Ukrainian-Russian war. Starting out, gangsta grandma. We're talking about the notion that Trump is meeting, or we're talking about the summit between Putin and Trump. You think Trump will be successful in this, gangsta grandma?
Oh, he's sucking on it worse than you are.
How did I get in this so early?
Let me tell you something. You're already starting to fluff. Oh, is he going to be better because of Biden? Bullshit. This motherfucker got his dangling all deep in Russia's mouth. You know why? Because Russia got something on that white man's ass.
Based on, what is making you say that? Based on what?
Come on, man. Damn, dude. Is that protein that fucking good that you can't even see what the fuck he's doing?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm seeing...
He's being friends with one of our enemies. That motherfucker is our enemy. Okay? He's going against an ally.
He's not being... Wait a minute. He's made all sorts of threats against Putin. He's not being friends with our enemy.
Those threats, bullshit. He has his dangling all up in his mouth. He got that uncooked protein deep in that. I'm telling you, that motherfucker got something on him. He already did the nudes of his bitch. What else? Come on now.
I think I'm hearing... This is what they call Trump derangement syndrome. It just sounds like you're not. It just sounds like you're not going to get a man credit no matter what the hell he does.
Why would you give a man credit talking to our enemy and not going for Ukraine? Why would you do that?
Do you know what a negotiation is?
On our soil. Okay, he wants to give minerals to Russia.
Well, first of all, him simply talking to Russia, trying to negotiate a peace deal, that's a good thing, right? That's not bad.
Dude, if you think this is gonna be a peace, you think that motherfucker gonna do a peace deal? Get the fuck out. He wants to have the Soviet Union back. You're so damn dense. That's why the fucking damn mega likes your ass. Because you don't see past their fucking ass. You don't think you're gonna say, let's make it no, dude. No, dude.
What about the possibility?
He's not gonna make no peace deal with our enemy. He's playing Trump like a fucking violin.
So you,
Okay? Putin, Trump is his you know what.
so you think that operating like Joe Biden was from a standpoint of endless war was a better choice?
What are you talking about? Endless war. What the fuck are you talking
What
about?
the hell was Biden getting accomplished in this conflict?
He was trying to stop it, but he wasn't backing down. And we was giving them fucking West boom booms and shit to help Ukraine. We're not supposed to help Russia, dodo.
He was trying. Goddamn it, he was failing. Trump is making an effort to.
Ukraine was winning.
Ukraine was not.
Ukraine was winning.
Ukraine was.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Ukraine was treading water. They were not winning.
We have to go for Ukraine because then they're gonna come for us. I mean, you don't get it, do you? You truly don't fucking get it, do you? You don't.
I'm going to ask.
There's never going. Let me tell you something about Russia. There's never going to be peace, Pookie. Okay? He don't want peace.
So you're saying that Trump should not even attempt to negotiate with Putin at all?
No, because he's not going to do anything, Jim. What the fuck? He was winning. Ukraine was winning.
They were not winning. No, they were not winning.
You know what? His dingling is so deep in your fucking goddamn throat. You're sticking on his fucking balls, don't you?
This ain't got nothing to do with oral sex. Why do you? This ain't got nothing to do with oral sex.
You're on your knees for this white tea man. You really on your fucking knees. They was winning. We had to help them. We have at peace. We have an agreement with them. We do. We have an agreement with them. If Russia invades, we will help them.
Okay.
Because they got the damn nukes
So,
from them.
so you
Let me tell you
believe?
something. Okay, Ray?
I'm
Okay?
listening.
If they get their nukes back out, we're all fucked. Ukraine has nukes. Up the kazoodle.
I'm not aware that Ukraine has nukes. I believe they gave them up.
God. That's the thing. Don't talk about this shit then. Because you truly don't know shit. That's why we're in there with them. That's why we're sending them shit. Because if they get their nukes, we're all fucked up.
Wait. You're saying right now as we speak, the Ukrainian government has access to nuclear weapons?
Yes, Dodo. They told them they will not use them. Yes, they got nukes. Pookie. I mean, you're so unintelligent. Why are you talking?
Okay, let me make sure. Hold on.
We have an agreement, Ray. Okay, Girly Pop, and we told them if they give up their nukes, we will help them if Russia invades.
So then they gave them up and we don't wait. So then they gave them up and they don't have them. They don't have them.
We'll give them equipment, and then we will not put our boots on the ground. Biden did that. We could have went in there with boots, but we didn't. We gave them equipment. Girly Pop.
By way of yes or no in the comments, how many of you folks agree with her that Ukrainians currently have nuclear weapons? Type yes in the comments if you believe that Ukrainians currently have nuclear
They
weapons.
told them they'll give up their nukes. They will not use them. They will not use them.
You see the comments? You see all of the no's under your.
They're just stupid. They're fucking stupid. We have a Budapest pit. We have a Budapest.
They don't have nuclear weapons. Gangsta grandma.
Okay.
They do.
Right. You just wait.
Let's try it this way. Hold on. Gangsta, hold on for a second. Let's try it this way. Alexa, does the Ukrainians have nuclear weapons?
They do.
Ukraine does not currently
Can we hear the answer?
In 19
Hold on a second. Alexa,
their
stop.
arsenal, which was the third.
Alexa,
largest
stop.
at the
Alexa, does the Ukraine have nuclear weapons? You fuck my lip. Alexa, does Ukraine have nuclear weapons?
Ukraine does not have nuclear weapons. In 1994, Ukraine gave up its nuclear arsenal, which was the third largest in the world at the time, in exchange for security guarantees.
What the hell is she talking about, gangster?
Watch.
I don't have any context.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Go ahead.
What's the agreement that we had, you dickfuck?
I asked you, do they have weapons? You said yes. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, they will surrender them, but let me tell you about when they say they surrender them.
Do
They
they?
just cannot use them.
Do-
Because we have them.
Do they have weapons right now? Do they have weapons right now? Do
You
they?
realize that, right?
What?
You do realize that, right? We're not supposed to use our nukes, but we still got them. You do know that, right?
Right.
Okay, half the mountains in New Mexico are nukes.
Okay, I'm not arguing with that.
That's the same thing that they're doing. They said they'll give them up. They won't use them.
That ain't,
Go ahead, Jim.
I don't think you know what.
We ain't the white man, and when the shit goes down, we're all fucked. Because they got big arsenal.
I don't think you know what you're talking about on this.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, bitch. I don't know. I'm just a bitch that I don't know shit. I don't study. I don't do this shit, right? That's why you're sucking on a white man, right?
What the hell does this got to do with the white man,
Oh my
gangster?
God, Jim. Bend down for the fucking white man. Think that you know that you don't think. Why do you think Russia wants Ukraine so goddamn bad?
Wait a minute.
It's for the minerals and his fucking nukes, you dodo.
What does this have to do with the white man?
Oh my fucking goddamn God. I can't with you.
You said that. I'm trying to get clarity. Help me understand.
Believing the white man. Oh, they don't got no nukes. Oh no, they don't got. Yes, they do. We have nukes. We're on the same agreement, dodo. We just cannot use them.
Listen, no, they gave them up in '94. Did you not hear the device?
Okay, so you know what, Tim? Listen and listen good, okay? Okay, Ray? We gave ours up too, but we still got
We
them.
didn't give our nukes up. Where are you getting that from? No, we did not.
Yes, we did. We said we would not use them, dodo.
There's a difference between saying you won't use something and giving it up.
Gave them up? You really do? You really think that Ukraine gave them up? Okay, fuck around, find out with you.
Where are you getting your information
Fuck around,
from?
find out. Fuck around, find out. You're gonna see.
Where are you
You're gonna
getting?
see, Ray. I'm telling you. You think that mofo over there? He's just kicking back. That's why we have the agreement to send our weapons and stuff over there. That's why we have the agreement. Okay? Now look what the stupid orange koala-looking, fucked up, quick quad of a cockroach we have in office. Look what he's doing. He's kissing ass.
Well, and I see in the comments, Moachman 6278 says 100% that you've been suspended from a Carnival cruise. What the hell? Look, let me just say this. There is no evidence that America made a pact with Russia to reduce the amount of nuclear weapons we have. We have never told anybody we were giving up our nuclear weapons. That has never even been mentioned by the United States. I don't know where you're getting that from. Okay, I don't know if my guest dropped or if she got taken down, but Gangsta Grandma, it's always a challenging conversation. You know my door is always open to you, but you and I disagree on this subject in a number of ways. I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a topic, and she hammers me, you guys know that, but I don't think there's ever been a topic where we disagree more on than this one. First, she's saying that the Ukrainians still have nukes, which I don't know where she's getting that from. And then she suggested that we stated that we gave ours up. I don't know where she's getting any of this stuff from. But she's always welcome back on the program. We'll talk about it in the next go-round, I suppose. Tap the damn screen, by the way. I'm already in the trenches on my first damn call. You know we don't block, ban, or censor, so it gets kind of rough sometimes. Tap the screen, get the lights on up to 10,000. We'll continue with the next caller at the... See in the comments, somebody says, thank God. Who said, wow, my vision with these little words is getting crazy. Came from Creed. Good evening, or good afternoon, Creed. She is one sandwich short of a picnic. Wow, you guys, my earlier audience is probably more harsh than my late audience. And by the way, we're going to do a second live. This is a abbreviated live we're doing right now because the summit between Trump and Putin is still ongoing. So we will be doing one later on at night to actually discuss what came out of it. Right now, we're just putting feelings over facts. We're going to speculate on what might happen, and I want to hear from you folks. And whether or not you think that it will be a success, whether Trump will basically walk away with a brokered peace deal. Should he get more credit than Biden, who really, I don't think Biden ever met with Putin at all. So Trump has reached out. I think this is his second official meeting with Putin. So, I mean, Trump is reaching out to these folks. Now, I don't want to hand out participation trophies. So if he doesn't get anything out of it, just simply said, I met with the guy, is not an accomplishment. But right now, he is trying to make peace happen. Will he be successful? Should the Ukraine be willing to surrender some of their territory to get the killing to stop? We're going to talk about all of that. Looking at the comments, Archangel says, no, it's not going to be a success. You cannot trust Putin. There's a whole lot of folks around the world that are saying exactly what you're saying. How can anything happen without the Ukraine participating? That's an excellent question. That's another one that many people are saying the same thing. How is Trump and Putin? I mean, it's almost like the conference where the Allies decided what they were going to do with Japan and Germany after the World War II. I mean, you're not involved in it, so it's probably not going to work in your best interest. And that's what it seems like, is that Putin and Trump are deciding what's going to be the outcome for the Ukraine. Will the Ukraine agree? I don't think so. Get your boy up to 10,000. We'll take the next caller there. Tap the screen. Trump's mother, Mary Ann, came from Scotland to the U.S. in 1930 and became a U.S. citizen 12 years later. I don't know what the relevance of that is, but thank you for adding that tidbit in there. Can't trust Trump neither. Wow. So one of my viewers says, in addition to the fact you can't ever trust Putin, you can't trust Trump. You don't trust your own president? He is our president, regardless of how you feel about him. He is the president of this great nation. You can't trust your own president? Going back to the box, one and only Takesha Bowie. Good evening, Takesha. You think Trump will garner some success out of this?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
Listen, I just had to come on when I saw this wasn't a sub-only live, Tim.
Most of them not. Most of them are not.
Did you see when Trump got off the plane first, right?
He looked a little tired, yes. I saw him walk down.
I ain't even talk about that poet. And then Putin got off and Trump was standing there clapping like a child.
I saw that, yeah. Give him a little bit of applause.
So excited to see Vladimir Putin. You would have thought that was his bride walking to him as he's about to say I do. That man was so excited to see Putin. And when he finally got a chance to put his hands on him, handsome, he just burst, like he just wanted to burst into tears of joy. I've never seen him smile like that with Melania.
But in defense of you never seen him smile like that with Melania, damn. But in defense of Trump, Putin was smiling too. I mean, these men have known each other long before Trump was president.
You know why Putin was smiling?
Why?
The whole time he was walking and seeing Trump clapping, he said, "Yeah, I got this sucker now."
Oh my God! You sound like my last guest. Is it possible, considering that both of these men have had a friendly relationship long before Trump became president, that they just are happy to see each other again?
Let me explain something to you, Zeus.
Zeus.
The way that man been talking about Donald Trump, let's be for real now. I don't care what kind of friendship y'all think they had. Putin been showing that he ain't steady there Donald Trump talking about. Stop, just cut it out.
Well, he's got a...
Have you ever... Listen, is that normal for another man to be clapping like that because another man walking to them down the red carpet, Phil?
Maybe not so much. Maybe not so much.
Okay, Phil, I want you to stop. Then post the list. When he got to the White House, they were dogging him out like he was Ernest T. Bass going around Andy Griffin Town, busting out windows because he wanted to be with Charlene.
Well, I will give you a slight amount of credit that if Putin was walking towards Biden or Obama and they were clapping, the right, the right would not The right would not view Biden or Obama clapping as Putin walked up favorably. They wouldn't view that favorably.
Look how Trump got his hand on top of Putin. That's mean I got admiration. I love you. He probably was telling me, look, wait a minute, when Putin got to it, Putin said, oh, you look like you lost weight. Thank you, baby. I put on my new suit just for you. I love you. I've been waiting with anticipation. Trump probably had told them put a little extra tan on my face. You know, get me together before I get off the plane. I'm finna go meet my man. That's what it looked like, Tim. I'm finna go meet my man.
Oh my God. But is it possible that Trump may actually be successful in this?
Absolutely not.
No chance, huh?
Absolutely not. You know, what I find funny is when Putin's second in command came out and said, be careful, Trump, we got videos. Then all of a sudden there was a meeting on the books. Stop it, Tim.
Oh. Well, hold on. Let me tell you. Let me frame this, because I've been talking about this with MAGA all day. Many of them are saying, listen, if Trump can walk away with peace, and he's suggesting that Zelensky and the Ukrainians be willing to just cede at least some of the territory that Russia has already acquired. If Russia is okay with keeping a little bit of the Ukraine, and they admit that they're ready to come to a ceasefire, would that not be an accomplishment for Trump?
Let me say this, Tim. The only peace Trump gonna walk around with is that have peace on top of his head, because he ain't gonna get no peace. And listen, Zelensky already said they not giving up nothing at all. So
okay.
How you gonna say it's gonna be peace when Zelensky said they not giving up nothing, Tim?
Okay, so then let me ask you this: if Zelensky doesn't, if Putin says if you let us keep 50% of what we took, we won't continue. We'll call off the attack. And Trump says that sounds good, and Zelensky says no, we're not going to accept that. What do you think Trump is going to do next?
He already on Putin's side. He just faking with us. He just wanted them folks minerals. He ain't stand Zelensky and them. Because let me say this, Tim. Why they got to give up some? They ain't giving up none to Ukraine. Why do Zelensky have to be the only person to give up some and Putin gaining and Zelensky losing? That's not right.
It's not right, but the argument is you can give up this little bit of land or you can get annihilated. Those are your two choices.
That's just like your girlfriend saying you can give up a little of that penis or, come on, Tim. A little bit ain't hitting on nothing.
Well, I mean, imagine you're in that situation that Zelensky is in, and you got a president like Trump who you kind of feel that if I don't do what Trump says, he's going to cut off the aid, the weapons that we need. Because listen, if Trump,
and then I would just have to depend on the rest of NATO, who said they were still strong for him. So I would just have to take that chance, because I would not bow down to Putin at all. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't do it. And I think what's sad is that all these years, the United States have stood with their allies, and now we are sitting up questioning if our president is for or against our ally. It's ridiculous, Tim.
well, I mean, it ain't like he didn't.
Sad statement.
I mean, Trump's stance on this, you knew why he was campaigning. And real quick in the comments, somebody said, Ron's Rico Mangina says, what the fuck, please screen your guests better. Well, you're going to get opinions from all sides. But how Takesha feels, if you feel different, state it in the comments. I'll read your comment and address that as well.
What if I said that was a lie?
Well, I can explain that to you.
The person that made the comment probably was standing up clapping too when Putin was coming down the red carpet.
Well, I mean, listen, what you're saying may have some validity to it. I mean, fact is, the right has been far more favorable to Russia than the Ukraine. So that is possible.
Hold on, and you know when that started happening? When Trump started doing it.
Yeah.
When nobody talk about how much they love Putin.
Tucker Carlson. I give you Tucker Carlson.
Trump got friendly with him, then all of a sudden, he go mad at him. Well, he's not that bad. Even though he's a dictator, Trump thinks he's a good person. I think this is wonderful. Have your own mind, people. Have your own mind.
Well, they believe that the Ukraine was taking the money and assistance. We were sitting over there and squandering it. They believe Zelensky's corrupt. And that the only reason Russia attacked them was self-defense because they were trying to join NATO.
Tim, I
Yes.
ain't never believed it. Most of them didn't even know what NATO was.
You,
Most
you,
of them didn't
you
even know
don't believe that. You think that?
Tim,
Wait a minute.
Tim,
Really?
most of them didn't even know what Ukraine was. They didn't even know that it was a part. Come on, Tim.
You think MAGA is that unintelligent?
I ain't gonna even say it, Tim. I don't want to insult.
You've already kind of said it.
Yeah, I do.
You don't think?
I don't think. Let me tell you what I think. I think that half of them never paid attention to anything that's going on in politics until Donald Trump got in office.
Well, shit, that ain't just MAGA. I mean, if there's one thing Trump...
You asked me a question.
Yeah, I get it, and you answered it. But to be honest with you, if there's one thing Trump deserves credit for more than any probably president in our lifetime is that he's drawn more people to being interested in politics. That is a great thing.
Let me say this to you.
Go.
And then I'm gonna let you go because I don't want to hold up your show. I know you need to talk to MAGA.
Okay.
These are the same people that are clapping, saying we taking in trillions of dollars from the tariffs that we are paying. The same people that believe Trump said prices are going down and came out with some numbers, that was against what the lady said. She got fired for telling the truth. He come out with his own numbers. And they keep going in the grocery store. They see the prices higher. But because Trump said they not, they still going there with that same $20 and getting denied at the register. He said the price is going down. They thinking they going there with $20 when they really need 40. These the same people, Tim. Whatever he say, go. Whatever he say they believe, it don't matter. They looking dead at it, Tim. It don't matter. It's whatever he say.
How about this? How about this? Before I let you go, one of my viewers on YouTube, RoboCop, says prices are higher in blue cities, dummy. So is there a price disparity between Republican cities and Democrat cities where you can go to Republican cities and get cheaper groceries?
RoboCop. RoboCop need to go and take them dog shades out so he can see that the prices up everywhere. Because apparently he keep wearing that helmet with them dog shades. He ain't seeing no better than Stevie Wonder nor Ray Charles. If that make any sense to him, then bless his RoboCop heart. I'm saying RoboCop. Baby, bye. Stop it, RoboCop. Cut it out.
I had forgot how wild...
I'm going through the house saying, I'll be back. No, ain't nobody got time for that foolishness, Tim. That is not true. Prices up everywhere. I wouldn't care if it was a Democratic city or a Republican city. Guess what, Tim? The prices are what the prices are.
I really had forgot how wild you can be on some of this shit.
I'm just saying, my boy, I took a break to leave your audience alone. Don't call me no dummy. You walk around with a name, RoboCop. Come on, grown man. RoboCop. Cut it out. I'm a RoboCop.
Oh, Lord.
RoboCop costume and come with me. Baby, stop. Cut it out, Mr. RoboCop.
That didn't go well at all. All right, Takesha.
All right, my friend.
Always come on back. By the way, most of the lives are not subscribers. That's something we only do that about once a week at best. So you must have just been.
Well, when I be saying up, Tim, they be saying sub only.
Right.
And I said, what Tim ain't been doing is get my disability check. Then I'm barely able to pay my bills with since, prices and everything going up. I can't even buy me no Ziegler balloon. I got to go to Brian and Oscar Mayer. You know how hard that is, Zeus. I mean, Tim.
I get it. Takesha, it's definitely been a pleasure. Thanks for coming through.
All right, friend.
All right. Oh my Lord, she kills it. Anyway, moving on with the show. Wow, here we go. Ukrainian here. This is coming from. I'm not going to be able to pronounce the name. Alelio. I'm not even going to butcher your name, but it says Ukrainian here. Lavrov, foreign minister, showed up in the United States wearing I heard about this. Wearing a USSR hoodie with triple CP on the front of it, if I'm correct. Says, people read the room, read the message. Now, if I'm not very well versed on politics that's in Ukraine, but I do realize that there are people in those areas that Russia currently occupies that are Russian sympathizers. A lot of folks on the right are even saying that you should concede that property to Russia because a lot of the citizens in that area speak Russian and used to be part of the Soviet Union and would rather be part of Russia anyway. Now, listen. That while I believe that's true, I don't think that makes a big deal, and I'll tell you why. There's a whole lot of folks in this country that are illegal immigrant sympathizers. It doesn't matter how the citizens feel. It's up to the government. There are millions of people in this country that want Trump to lay off on illegal immigrants. Their opinion is useless. The government is the one that gets the responsibility of doing it. So if you were in the Ukraine and you would rather become part of Russia, it's not your call to make. It's the government that gets that call. So, but I do understand this. And what he's saying though is that, and thank you for the support. Says the Ukrainian, he says Ukrainian here, Lavrov, who's the foreign minister, showed up in the U.S. wearing a USSR hoodie. So one of their foreign ministers showed up in America giving support to the former Soviet Union. That's almost like an act of treason. I mean, it really is. I don't know how that, wow. I mean, that's like, Bill Clinton or somebody showing up wearing an Iraqi outfit or something while we were at war with Iraq. I mean, that's crazy to do that. Seems like that. I mean, I guess it's not officially a crime, but that sure doesn't show support for your own country to do something like that. But I did hear about that earlier in the day. Anyway, looking in the comments, the government makes the calls, says the bubblehead. Don't know what you're saying there other than I guess there's an insult in there somewhere. But I love how most of the people disagreeing with her aren't making valid points and just insulting her. Truly the Trump method. Oh, the insults are going to fly. The insults are going to fly. This is an uncensored program, so people can speak freely. I would hope that you speak sensibly. If you can insult, but make it make sense. Have a little bit of meat on the bread. Tap the screen. Get the lights on up to 25,000. We'll take the next caller. A Republican also wore an Israel war uniform. Hell, the Republican Party, most of them are wearing, at the very least, Israeli flag lapel pins on them. Some of them are wearing the pins where it's got the United States flag and the Israeli flag connected together. Many of you who watch the live regularly may remember I played a clip of Ted Cruz, a sitting senator, stating that the Bible tells us that you will be cursed if you don't defend Israel. How the hell could a sitting senator say some shit like that? That America should defend Israel, otherwise we'll be cursed by God. A sitting senator is admitting to making decisions based on the Bible. Separation of church and state, my ass. Anyway, looking in the comments, gas prices going up in California, lower everywhere else. Are you sure about that, MAGA reacts? Now, gas prices are always higher in California, but are they actually going up in California while down elsewhere? I like to know that. If in Israel, from what Israel is the one attacking people, yeah, I don't think there's any argument that Israel. Look, October 7th was Hamas attacking Israel. That's long been avenged. Hamas is no significant threat to Israel at this point. They're just being punitive. They're just pummeling them, just beating the shit out of them from this point on. Continuing on, Travelman. Good evening. Welcome to the show there, Travelman. Do you think Trump will be successful in this summit with Putin? Good evening.
Damn. I don't think much is going to come out of this. How can you negotiate without the other guy there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a given. Trump, I don't think Trump really know how to deal with Putin, man. And then you got the only guy in there that's really got any kind of international experience, I guess you could say, is Marco Rubio. But shit, he done went through a metamorphosis. He done turned into Marco the Clown.
Marco the Clown.
But he still has the experience. The other guy, the real estate guy, he goes over to Russia, comes back, misinterpreting the information that he receives.
Yeah. But did you at least give Trump credit for at least trying to speak out to Putin? I mean, Biden wasn't meeting with this guy at all.
You see, I think you keep saying that, but you got to look at the time frame. Okay, you got to look at the time frame. At the time, the first 2 years, Putin didn't want to talk to anybody.
How do you know that?
Putin had his set of demands was, this is what I want, and if you can't give me this, I don't want to talk.
Well, shit, that still remains his stance. But Trump feels through his negotiation skills that he can get him back down on that.
But now he's lost almost a million. He has almost a million casualties. He's had to bring North Koreans in, so now you got North Koreans dying. He's also going over to Iran to get weapons and supply drones and things of that nature. So the situation is a lot different now. And one of the reasons I think that that Ukraine is in the situation that they're in now, and Russia has been able to make progress. If you go back, you remember when Johnson and those asswipes in Congress withheld funding and weapons systems for 6 months.
Yeah.
And Ukraine was over there counting ammo, and they were down and counting stuff and being able to do things every other day. Also, they only had defensive weapons.
Yeah.
Not now. When they finally did start, I think finally got it off. When they finally did start back, providing the funding, because what they did was totally idiotic. Because if you remember, they tied it to the border bill, and then when that died, they couldn't even pass. The Republicans couldn't even pass their own border bill.
Well, when Biden tied Ukrainian funding and Israeli funding, by the way, to the border bill, I don't,
that was Republicans. That was Republicans. That wasn't Biden.
Was it?
That was the Republicans that tied the Ukraine funding to the border bill in the Israeli conflict. That was the Republicans that did that.
I thought that. Now Biden had a border bill about 8 months before his term ended as well. I thought Biden's border bill had funding for this stuff in it too, right?
Okay, the border bill that Langford put together is what you're talking about.
Okay.
And then the Republicans in Congress are the ones that put the Ukraine funding and the Israelis funding. They put all that stuff. They put that on attached it as part of that and say we're not going to work on anything until we pass the border bill. And then, if you remember correctly, the border bill didn't pass. Right. And then they tried to come up with
hold on 1 second. I always have to point out comments that I find humorous. This one I've never seen something like this before, and I get some of the wildest comments. We'll keep talking, Troubleman, shortly, but in the comments, I don't know what it says. Bobber Curse something 6 foot down says, "It's too bad this man is black. He is too smart to have that kind of skin." How do you respond to something like that?
I think it's called FU. Okay, to make a statement like that, you know what? It's a reflection of where we're at right now. Now, I think he may have been trying to be sarcastic or something along those lines.
Sarcastically what? Sarcastically racist or something?
He was being a Richie Cranium. There's no doubt about that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what he was being. So back to what
Back to the topic.
If you remember correctly, after the border bill didn't pass, they tried to pass their own version of something. And the Republicans.
I don't recall. Wait. I don't recall Trump. Trump has control of everything. Why wouldn't his own bill pass?
Trump wasn't in office then.
Right. So it was Biden's border bill then.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
It was Langford. That was the border bill that Trump wanted them to kill.
Right, and he did, and they did
and
that.
They killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah.
But they had put the Ukraine funding in the Israel Gaza stuff. They had put funding. They had tied all that together.
Yeah. I don't think Travelman, I don't think it mattered. I think under Biden, it doesn't matter if it wouldn't matter if Biden sat down with the Republican Party, asked them what y'all want, and then tried to pass a bill to do it. Trump was going to deny it no matter what it was.
Let me tell you something, Tim. Let me tell you something. You probably know this, okay? You probably know this. Trump said, "I hate Democrats."
Yes.
Okay, can you imagine another president or another politician standing on the national stage and saying, "I hate Democrats"? A Democrat will vote for a Republican.
Well,
but a Republican will not vote for a Democrat.
Well, it's a strong statement for Trump to say, but I mean, there is deplorables and Biden talking about garbage.
No, Tim.
Huh?
No, Tim. No.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
Call it, you use the term hate.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hate.
No, you did
That's
use
the
it.
epitome. That's the epitome of a negative reaction to somebody. I hate
It's a strong.
Democrats.
It's a strong
Okay.
comment. It's a strong comment.
That you cannot get it. The only way you get stronger than that is if you say I will unalive every Democrat in the country. That's the only thing that's above that or below that, whichever way you want to look at it. But that's what he said. You know. So the thing about this thing. Okay, let's go back to Ukraine. Okay, the problem right now, they have started giving them. You know, they did give them some offensive weapons. But my question is, why don't they use the intelligence and find out where that damn drone factory at and take that drone factory out?
I think to garner peace, Trump is trying not to overtly assist the Ukrainians. He's not. I mean, because the Ukrainians want blood just as much as Putin does for the million. I mean, they both have lost a lot of people. So the Ukrainians might actually go above and beyond in terms of damage and destruction that Trump wants. So I think Trump is trying to kind of put at least one hand of the Ukrainians behind their back. And Biden was doing that too. Biden was limiting their weapons.
They've had one hand behind their back since the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? But look at what they were able to accomplish. This is what happened in favor of the U.S. The Russian military, the professional Russian military, has been decimated. So much they got to bring North Korea. They got North Koreans dying over there now. They can't even. Now what's going to happen to Kim when the people back there find out that his rice-eating ass and they sent them people over there to die? Okay. Now the second part is they have decimated the Russian. They ran the Russian Navy out of the Black Sea.
Yeah.
They took out the command ship. These are things that they did.
Do you agree with Gates and Grandma earlier, who was saying that before Trump came along, the Ukrainians were actually winning?
No, well, they had slowed or basically stopped the Russian advance. They had stopped the Russian advance until the Republicans stopped the funding for 6 months. And that's when Russia regrouped. And ever since they did that, Russia has been kind of incrementally making ground.
That 6-month pause and assistance to the Ukraine was deadly for them.
But not only that, this is also what they did, though, because that wasn't the only thing they did. Because if you remember later on now, once Trump did get into office, with his retribution, I ain't gonna go into detail on it. What they did was that at one time they did do a short stop on weapons. And if you remember, they also put a pause on intelligence.
Yep.
Okay? So those things right there, not only did it damage the Ukrainian effort at the time, it also damaged our standing within the world. Okay? Right now we probably have the worst world leader.
Is it our standing in the world? Is the world understanding that it is the leader we currently have?
The world understands that we have a petulant frat boy who daddy bailed him out of bankruptcy, or tried to keep him out of bankruptcy, and he's only about retribution. What's the other? Retribution, revenge. That's all he's about. I mean, you look at what they've done to the DOJ and what they've done to the FBI. All their resources are geared towards retribution and revenge. Okay. You look at the executive orders. The executive orders are bent towards retribution and revenge. The matter of fact, the revenge and retribution goes back to 2016. What is that, 9 years ago? Okay. So
there's no denying that he's a vengeful president. I think that's pretty explanatory, self-explanatory. He is a vengeful president. We know that.
So what is he going to get from Putin? Okay.
Peace.
Okay, Ukraine gonna have to give up some. They gonna have to give up some land. They know that. Okay.
Do you think they should? Do you think they should do that in effort to get peace? Give up a little bit of territory to get the killer out.
Dude, they gotta have some serious safeguards put in.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, he's just gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Because see, this is the thing. and you know, anybody that follows stuff know he wants to put the Soviet Empire back together again. So if people think that if he takes Ukraine, and don't think he won't, but then again, he's going to continue to try. The problem is the Ukrainians are not the Afghans, okay? The Ukrainians say, this is my country, you're not taking it over, we're going to fight for it. The Afghans say, damn, they sit down and ring and gave the country up. Okay, that's the difference. They got pride in their country. So therefore they're fighting for it. And we tied one hand behind their back, but they're so creative and coming up with different new types of warfare, you know, that they've been able to do what they've done. This was like, the Russian army was supposed to be like this premier army. And they turned out to be a bunch of asswipes. Okay? Yeah. The thing about it, when I was on the USS Nimitz, we was floating around out in the Mediterranean. We should see the Russian ships, you know, they follow us, we follow them, whatever.
Right.
Burn fly across and all that crap. And we used to always sit back there on the fan tell them whatever. We say, you know what? There's two things going to happen with the Russian army. This is what we believe. They were either going to run out of gas or they were going to break down. They went into Ukraine, they broke down, and they ran out of gas. Because and not only that, the inferior quality of their weapon systems was also exposed. Yeah. And also the structure of their military was also exposed, which is also similar. I think China had the same military structure.
Yeah, the thing about it is the Ukrainians have kind of revealed Russia to be kind of a paper tiger. They can't fight at night. You're talking about their systems. I got to move it on, no travel man, but yeah, you are correct. People thought Russia was a lot more capable conventional-wise, not the nuclear stuff, the conventional weapons. People thought they were a lot more capable than Ukrainians have shown that they're not. Travelman, thanks for coming through.
All right, bro. Take care now.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. Real quick in the comments there. Went to Walmart today. There were no bags, says SGB72. They said it was because of Trump's tariffs. Evidently, they are made in China. Wow. So what is Walmart going to be like? Costco or somewhere you got to bring a box in to put your groceries in? He said he went to Walmart. Has anybody else had any experience like that? Now, I know, I remember when I used to be an over-the-road driver, when you went to Walmart in California, they had because of the climate change thing, they charged you for bags and something crazy like that. But going to Walmart, no bags, huh? Wow. Walmart is about to close down. That's not going to happen, King Fan. I don't see that. Who's gonna replace Walmart? Amazon? I don't see that. Let the USA look at itself. USA in first place. Well, I will tell you this before I go to the next caller and tap the screen. Get me on up to 40,000. We'll go to the next caller. America first is not the way to maintain a superpower status. The only reason we are a superpower is because we're involved in everybody's business, controlling how the world operates. If we go to an America first stance, which is what Trump allegedly campaigned on, we're going to just simply worry about Americans. We're going to stop sending money overseas. We're going to get out of overseas wars and shit like that. You're going to lose your superpower status. If you stop dealing with all these other countries, China, Russia, or some other superpower is going to step up and fill that void. It's as simple as that. America first is a really good way to lose your superpower status. Because, like, we're preventing Iran, for instance, from getting a nuclear weapon. Other countries want to be more powerful, want to be more stronger. The United States is interfering with it. The United States, by handing the Ukrainians weapons, has greatly weakened Russia. Without the United States, Russia would be closer to establishing the Soviet Union again. We're weakening countries. Same thing with China wanting to take over Taiwan. We're preventing that. If we focus on being America first and we get out of those overseas conflicts, all that shit's going to happen. China's going to take over Taiwan. Russia's going to start swallowing up neighbors. I mean, America first is a good way to lose your superpower status. This is my opinion. Tap the screen. Over 150 Walmarts closing all over the country. Is that true? Why? What's causing that? So maybe you are right, King. Over 150 Walmarts are closing. I have not heard that. But we'll continue on with the program with the one and only on Instagram, MAGA Reacts, if it brings them up. Good evening, MAGA. Can you hear me?
Yeah, happy introduce on Clapper because I guess I said all the keywords yesterday and I got banned off. Not banned, just I couldn't go online.
I didn't hear you. Yeah, when we talked, I said that after you got banned. I'm like, he ain't said shit that I would have. I could, because I said, go ahead. Did you try to appeal it?
Yeah, no, they still denied it. I said all the keywords though. I said climate change. I said Epstein. I said all the keywords, even though like I didn't say anything about them directly or any kind of misinformation. But because I mentioned all the keywords, I said it all. What did I say? COVID. I said all the keywords.
All right, fair enough. Well, let's get into the topic. So, hey, for folks who are wondering, we're on Clapper as well. So you're hearing this feed is coming out of Clapper. So the question I'm asking you is, do you think Trump will be successful in brokering peace now that he's having a summit with Vladimir Putin?
I don't know. He's been having a lot of bad luck lately. So I give him like 60-40. 60 that he'll do it, 40 that he might not. This is supposed to be like a start of negotiations, not the end.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Now I want to ask you something. Yeah, I want to ask you something. Speaking of Biden, I want to ask you something. Comparing Trump to a previous president, back in 2012, Obama threatened to use the military on Syria if they didn't stop using chemical weapons. It was known as the red line in the sand. Syria, I think it was not Ahmadinejad. I cannot think of the guy's name over there in Damascus, but he didn't stop using chemical weapons. So even though Obama threatened to use military force if they didn't stop using chemical weapons, they ignored Obama and continued doing it. And Obama stood down and did not use military force, leading many Republicans to say he had no backbone and, he's making idle threats. Now, I'm going to obviously compare him to Trump, who said that if Putin did not stop his invasion into the Ukraine within 50 days, we were going to impose sanctions and strict punitive measures. Then he dropped it down to 10 days. That 10th day expired last Friday, and Trump hasn't done anything. I want to ask you, how is he any different than Obama, making threats and not following through?
Well, he still has time to follow through. Obama doesn't or didn't.
No,
he did follow through with Syria when he told them not to gas.
No, he didn't follow through with Putin. He said he gave Putin 10 days. Putin ignored the 10 days. And Trump hasn't done shit.
Well, no, but Putin took steps. He called him up and we're having this meeting. So he's actually, at least he's like pretending to try to end this conflict by meeting with Trump, which is something.
MAGA.
So you can't always, have a meeting and then fuck them over or bomb them while their meeting's going on.
Okay, first of all, since the 10 days expired, Putin has continued to attack the Ukraine. Despite the planned meeting, he didn't stop attacking. He's been attacking the man all this week or attacking the country all this week. So clearly he didn't adhere to Trump's 10-day threat. And Trump hasn't followed through on the threats he made. You don't see any comparison there at all?
No, because it's not over yet. Yeah, you can't just attack the next day. You have to plan it out and figure it out. And then the fact that Putin is here for this means that he bought himself some more time.
He sure had no problem attacking her.
What's the difference? In this situation, first of all, gassing your people is different than, a conflict that's been going on. Like war is different than just...
They're killing...
Gassing your people is like against the Geneva Convention or the step too far. Where this is just normal war, and again, he bought himself time by agreeing to this meeting, so
in other words, this might just be nothing more than a stall tactic.
It might be, but that's only going to make things worse for him if he doesn't come through and actually, agree to peace.
So do you actually feel confident that if nothing comes out of this meeting, Trump is going to follow through and do something in reality or make another threat?
I see Trump following through. I don't see him going too crazy, but I'll see him doing something. At least to save face,
Because you do realize this is now his third, you do this or I'm going to strike. This is now Trump's third threat to Putin. 50 days, Putin didn't listen. 10 days, Putin didn't listen. Now he has a summit. So if Putin doesn't come out of this and do what Trump wants, that will be the third time he's defied Trump. I mean, at what point does Trump start to look like he's a simp?
No, but he's meeting with him, which is what Trump wanted.
Trump wanted him to stop attacking Ukraine. The meeting is just because he don't deny Trump twice. Now he's been able to garner a meeting with Trump. But originally Trump gave him 50 days. There was no meeting in that. When Trump gave him 10 days, there was no meeting in that. Putin is defying the guy.
Okay, well, somehow Putin managed to calm down Trump before he had a chance to actually do something to, because again, the meeting is a huge step toward the peace. So I think Putin bought himself time, and you don't know what Trump had planning, and then all of a sudden, fucking Putin called him like, all right, let's have a meeting.
So
I've had shit like that happen to me in my life where I was mad at someone, I was gonna do some shit, and then they did something right before I pulled the trigger. Not an actual trigger, trigger, and then we talked and I calmed down and we ended up being cool.
What about the notion that some folks, particularly on the right, on your side of the aisle, are saying that the Ukraine should be willing to give up some of the territory that Russia has conquered if it'll bring about peace? Do you think the Ukrainians should surrender some of their territory to appease the Russians and get peace?
We'll see. I mean, that's all part of negotiations. So we'll see how the negotiations go. But in my eyes, they should at least give up like the heavy Russia territory, like the ones full of Russians. I think those should, if they're full of Russians and everyone there is Russian and wants to be part of Russia, let them be part of Russia.
So in other words, if you get a whole bunch of Mexicans in Texas, just give up Texas to Mexico because there's a lot of Mexicans there.
I mean, if there's a lot of Americans in Mexico, then yeah, Mexico should give up a part of Mexico.
Why would you do that? Why would you? Do you feel confident that if they actually do that, Russia won't attack for more territory in the future?
I don't know. I don't think the same trick will work twice.
This is the third time, man. But MAGA, this
time they had Russian people there and all this other shit and their security. Next time they won't have those excuses because
you do realize
they've done a good job keeping their people happy. Like everyone's surprised. Like why haven't the Russian people revolted with all their people dying?
Because they'll get killed themselves. Because they'll get killed. You do realize Russia took Georgia in 2008, Crimea in 2014. This is the third time they're taking a swipe in the region. So, I mean, you feel confident there won't be a fourth time?
Yeah, especially after all the pain and suffering from this time. It's not like this was like a walk in the park. This was very painful for them. And, they got lucky that Trump won and he's holding the Ukrainians back a little bit. But next time, there's not going to be holding any shit back.
So you believe the Russians got... Wait. Your statement was the Russians, not the Americans. The Russians got lucky that Trump won. So you think America electing Trump was good for our enemy, the Russians?
It was good for the whole world. It's good for the Russians, the Ukrainians, the whole world.
How can it be good for the Russians and... Wait. How can it be good for both the Russians and Ukrainians? You can't backtrack on that statement. I don't think you meant to make it any open, but how can it be good for Russia and the Ukraine?
Because he's actually pursuing an end to the war. I mean, he's got no favorites in this. He just wants to end the war.
You really believe that?
He doesn't, he's both gone after Putin and after Zelensky, depending on who was against the peace treaty and the peace talks.
So you believe that Russia, you believe that...
His goal is peace no matter what.
So you believe that Trump has no favorites in this war?
No, he just wants to fucking end it and get his... Nobel Peace Prize, and that's it. He wants to end this conflict like he's ended all these other conflicts and get his Nobel Peace Prize.
And you think that Trump is going to end up getting the Nobel Peace Prize for what's going on with immigrants and alligator Alcatraz and El Salvador? You think they're going to give him a peace prize? That's like giving Adolf Man of the Year on Time Magazine. I don't think that's going to happen, MAGA. I mean, listen, if he's ending wars, that is a good thing. But there is a lot of bad, lack of empathy things he's doing as well. I don't think they're going to give him a Nobel Peace Prize.
I mean, how many wars does he have to end before he gets it? That's my question.
Exactly what I just said.
I remember Obama ending wars and he got it.
Exactly what I just said, though. Even if he's ending wars, there's too many other bad things he's doing on the back end. The way what's going on with
also, with immigration and deporting, his deportation numbers are still normal. He hasn't deported all the colored people like what's her name? Crazy Grandma and the rest of them are saying. They make it sound like anyone who's got a slight tan has been deported. His deportation numbers are, I want to say, below average at best.
He's only been in all. Well, yeah, but the difference is his deportation numbers.
Alcatraz is no different than any campsite or any,
That's not true. That's not true.
Location on the border. They all look the same.
That's absolutely.
Alcatraz,
that's not.
We have places in Texas that look just like that. We have pictures of children in cages in locations just like the one in Florida, but they were during Obama in 2012, they looked exactly the same like alligator Alcatraz.
I'd be surprised. I got to move it on, but if he gets the Nobel Peace Prize while he is literally talking about deporting the Haitians who had temporary protected status back to their war-torn country. I mean, he's literally talking about doing that. The only reason it stopped is the judges stopped him. I don't see him getting a Nobel Peace Prize while doing that. I just cannot imagine that.
I mean,
not to mention he's going to be deporting people. He's going to be deporting people to countries they've never. He's talking about deporting people to Rwanda, countries they don't even speak the language there. You're not going to get a Nobel Peace Prize while you're doing that to people.
He hasn't deported anybody to Rwanda yet.
Okay.
We'll see.
And he hasn't got the
results of things. He hasn't deported the Haitians yet, so we will see.
All right, we'll see. But if he does that, I don't think he's going to get what you're suggesting.
I mean, this is the annoying part. Democrats like to talk while things are in progress, and then they give him no credit when he actually accomplishes anything. They just do their best to forget about it or make excuses about it.
No, we're not going to. He's not going to get credit. He's not going to get credit for deporting to Rwanda. I can tell you that. He's not going to get credit for that.
He's not going to get credit for ending the Ukraine-Russia war either.
It ain't like he jumped up and down and gave Biden or Obama credit for anything either. That's politics.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
No, you're right.
I got to move it on. Appreciate it. All right. Moving on with the program. Tap the screen. Get your boy likes on up to about 50. FIDDY. Get the likes up to about 50,000. Never, let your thumbs not be lazy. You guys understand we don't block, ban, or censor any damn body on the program. We are MAGA friendly. Been that way since day one. Always have, always will be MAGA friendly. By the way, MAGA are my preferred guests. I just don't get enough of them. But MAGA are the preferred guests on the program. We don't censor anybody. 34 felonies. Are you kidding me? Says Jay. That's another good point. He's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize for 34 felonies and a civil court suggesting that he actually was liable for sexual assault. That would be interesting. Because I don't think the rest of the world thinks that all those charges were witch hunting made up, like Trump and MAGA does. I don't know about that. I'm white. Most of my family is black and mixed. We all family and we all are connected, says Seth. All right. I don't know if the rest of the country agrees with you, but I love your sentiment. She means Russia has the nukes and Ukraine. If Ukraine had them, they would use them or done something different. And I agree with that. I'll just say this. If there is one thing the world should know by now is having nuclear weapons keeps the bullies away. A nuke a day will keep the bullies away. That's why Iran is so adamant towards getting a nuclear weapon. You see how North Korea, once they got nukes, nobody's fucking with them. A nuke a day keeps the bullies away. If this hasn't taught those smaller countries anything, you need to work on atomic technology. Once you get that, people will leave you the fuck alone. If the Ukraine had atomic weapons, Russia would not be in that country right now. I mean, so that should be the goal of any nation that feels threatened. Do your best to try to get your hands on at least a couple bombs. I mean, period. Just get your hands on a couple bombs because that will keep the bullies away. Until that happens, you're going to be up to the mercy of superpowers. It's as simple as that. They're going to keep coming back and either telling you what you can and can't do, or maybe taking some of your country or controlling you in other ways. But once you get your hands on some atomic, what do the Second Amendment folks say? The shall not be infringed folks always say. An armed society is a polite society. Oddly enough, they don't seem to think an armed global population is a polite population. They don't want certain countries to have nukes, but I strongly believe that should be the goal of some of these smaller countries. Get your hands on an atomic arsenal. That is one way to stop some of these countries from fucking with you. Looking in the comments, okay, I hear you talk all this shit. It says, Jay, I don't see what the rest of that name is. It says, okay, I hear you talking all this shit. Jay, go ahead and add something to the program. Appreciate your input. Let me know what you're thinking. I would not go to war with Hegseth running the military. Damn. Well, you said Pete Hegseth ain't, are you saying Pete Hegseth is, about to say DUI, DEI? Are you trying to say Pete Hegseth is not capable of getting the job done? I don't know. Somebody says, hi, appreciate that vampire or something. Okay, continuing on with the program. Should the Ukraine, in effort to get peace, let Russia keep some of its territory? Let Trump negotiate on their behalf, which is exactly what is happening now. Trump is negotiating on behalf of the Ukraine with Vladimir Putin. Many would suggest Zelensky should be at the negotiations. That's how a lot of people feel, but he's not there. Ryan, good evening.
Oh my goodness. It's been a while. How you doing?
That's not bad, not bad. Good to have you back on. What am I getting wrong?
What's I gotta admit I stepped away for a little bit. Did we last we were talking about Ukraine?
Yes.
And the success
Do you think Trump will
define success? just
well, from what I can tell, the goal is obviously to stop the war, but the expectation is that the Ukraine should be willing to give up at least some of the territory Russia is currently occupying, and that'll lead to Russia backing off. Do you think Trump can pull that off? Pull off those parameters I just gave you?
By modern era, we don't let other countries take up arms against others just simply because they want their land. You can't do that. I mean, it's not. I mean, you know, and that's we've always backed countries in that regard.
But you're using the phrase by law and Trump in the same sentence. I don't know. Does Trump care about that?
Oh God, no. I mean, that's clear in the way he operates. But that's what I say. I got to correct you when you said at some point Trump was good for politics. You honestly believe that? Were you saying that just for?
Yeah. Let me elaborate on that. When I say Trump is good for politics, it has nothing to do with him or how he's running the country. I'm simply saying there are too many full-grown adults that don't vote, don't know who the leaders are, don't know what's going on in this country. Once Trump got in the game, there are a lot more Americans on both sides of the aisle that are more knowledgeable about what's going on, that are more energized in voting, energized in politics. He's the reason.
Yeah, the only problem is he's manipulated those folks by going for the disenfranchised and creating a boogeyman that did not exist.
That ain't what I mean.
Save you from said boogeyman. And look, all these people are voting for the wrong reasons.
No,
they're voting against their own best interests.
No, because you think I'm only talking about MAGA. He's energized liberals and independents too. People are voting against him.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, okay. I'll give you that, but not in a good way. In a holy shit, this ship is sinking. We better freaking do something. Not in a, hey, he's got me interested in politics. He set the forest on fire. He forced people to grab buckets of water.
Well, whatever the case may be, at least it energized you into looking out for your country and grabbing some damn water. I like the fact that you got a lot more young people talking about politics now because of Trump. In a lot of cases, it's exactly what you're talking about. They don't like the guy, so but they are interested in politics now.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't know if those same people are going to go out and vote again, if they're going to stay into politics, but. Because, I mean, yeah, we also had pushes from, all these movie stars and musicians and athletes and like we never had before, trying to help people get their head out of their ass and go vote. There's a lot of moving parts there, but it's just hard for me to say that he's good for politics. However, I do see what you're saying in that regard.
Well, one of my viewers is countering. I think it says, L. Matthews or something. He says, young people love Trump. You guys are delusional. So he's saying that the younger crowd, I guess what would that be? Voters, 21 to maybe 30? Or what is it, 18 to maybe 30, the younger voters. He's saying the young crowd loves Trump. Is that the way you've seen it?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Yeah, there's a lot of young frat boys spending mom and dad's money that I think...
What about young women?
When I was 18,
they vote
when I was
too?
18, I voted the way mom and dad said to vote when I was 18. I just didn't know. I wasn't, you know what I mean? So, but it wasn't until that next cycle, going through college where I'm like, okay, I kind of know some stuff now. I'm kind of in the world a little more, and then I'm seeing things differently. Because my parents were both conservative, and we've always voted Republican straight across the board. That was just how it was.
Yeah, my take on it is a little bit different. I don't agree that the young crowd loves Trump. I think the alpha males, they do like Trump because it's getting away from all the LGBTQ stuff and things like that. The alpha males, put me on top, hierarchy over women. I think that type of crowd likes Trump. But keep in mind, what younger people like to do, the conservative party ain't it. The younger people don't want religion on them, and a lot of young people do support the LGBTQ community. They want to smoke a joint. They're not big fans of police. I don't think a lot of them do have, immigrants and all of that type of shit. The younger crowd is more in favor of diversity. I don't think the younger crowd likes MAGA the way he's saying. I think that maybe just the alpha males.
I mean,
go.
Yeah, I'd be curious straight across the board. I mean, but yeah, I can see if you're younger and you don't quite know much about politics, how you might be caught up in some of like, he's just different. And I still, to this day, hear a lot of people say that, hey, he's not like your average politician. And there's still some of those folks out there that like him for that reason, because they really don't honestly follow. Even though it's hard to imagine there's people that exist. I just had this conversation with some friends of mine last weekend, actually, because we were talking about that. Like, hey, do you think that people that voted for Trump are stupid? Like, right across the board. And my friend's argument was, hey, there are, he lives in Tennessee, and he said there actually still are a lot of people out there that don't honestly know everything that's going on. They just kind of kept their head in the sand, and they just are picking up the crumbs of the MAGA chance, and they're not really. They're like, oh, he got convicted of felonies, really? It's like, yeah.
Well, that depends on where you get your news from too.
Going obviously. Yeah. So it's sad to say, but that's not my experience, but that was his experience.
Yeah, it depends on where you get your news from. If you're getting your news from right-wing outlets, you're never going to hear the phrase 34 felonies. I mean, Fox News is never going to say that. You might hear witch hunt, but you're never going to hear that guy has felonies on him.
Yep. That is true, and in the podcast or the other thing,
Yeah.
Like your RoboCop guy earlier, saying that it's only the groceries are only expensive in blue areas.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I have no idea, but these are the things that are talked about on podcasts, and they actually believe it. Yeah. Like they're actually eating cats and dogs in Springfield. Like that, Seriously, that FEMA is actually trying to mine for minerals in people's backyards in the South when the hurricane blew through there, and don't let FEMA onto your property. There's people that are actually denying assistance from the federal government because of the drivel that's coming out of these freaking podcasts and even coming out of Trump's mouth.
That's why we say we go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q, because you do get that stuff. We actually get that on the program.
Yeah, I mean, and for those reasons, like the fact that Trump actually pushed those two narratives, like that cats and dogs were being eaten in Springfield, and that FEMA was trying to literally like trying to steal from the people in the South. Rather, it's like, come on now, don't let them on your property. They just want to seize your land.
Yeah, Trump is pushing them. I mean, obviously, you're right about the cats and dogs and the FEMA thing. I mean, he's talked about. I mean, they're emptying insane asylums. That's what your immigrants consist of, is basically, violent criminals and crazy people. I mean, he does do a really good job at making people look like monsters.
Yeah, and that's what he does to keep his base ginned up. He creates the boogeyman that doesn't exist, and he claims to slay that dragon for you, that boogeyman. Like getting everyone afraid to death that all the brown people coming in from the border are going to steal all your jobs and create all the crimes and kill all the people. And then that's why they got to round everybody up and be afraid.
But when you say all the brown people, you almost make it sound like it's a racial thing. You don't see Trump as like racist, do you?
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen videos circulating the internet like crazy, like these road ragers, and they're picking on a lot of these Hispanics. And I've heard more than one or two, three people say, your kind is going extinct, you just wait. And that's the rhetoric that's coming from Stephen Miller. If you read all of the things that he's ever published, things that he's been a part of, he literally comes out and says it out loud. Things
your
like
kind is going extinct. Who you talking about? You say your kind is going extinct. What do you mean, brown people?
Yep. Yeah, Hispanics. They're because they're systematically trying to get rid of them, expunge them, and Stephen Miller has said things a number of times about the bloodlines being contaminated, and we need to cut this out.
So that would equate to like a MAGA genocide. You don't see MAGA really backing that type of mindset, do you?
Not directly, not out loud, but I have actually heard people in conversation, people that I knew as my friends for years, finally come out and say it. I'm proud to be white, and yes, I am afraid that we are going to be extinct. The white people will be extinct, and they say
I've had
shit
that. I've had three. That's replacement theory.
Yeah, and it's sad, and to hear these people in these videos, these road ragers screaming at Hispanics and saying things like that. Your kind is you're going to be extinct.
Yeah.
You just watch. You just wait.
Wow.
It's.
You're going to take. Everything that's south of the border for what is that? A few thousand miles is all brown. You're going to get rid of all of that? There's no way.
I know exactly right. It's like it's shocking. It's crazy. But why is it that they're cutting down on immigration, but all the people from South Africa, they were cool. You guys can seek asylum here. Nobody else can seek asylum. Well, what's different about the people in South?
Well, in defense of Trump, and by the way, Elon Musk, it was only 59 of them though. Only 59 that came.
I know, but he was literally saying how there's going to be a moratorium on that. Nobody's going to seek asylum, but these white people are cool. And it's just kind of like, really, if you're going to do it across the board. Why has it got to be there, of all places? And then they were actually at that time pushing the narrative that they were the ones being oppressed.
Yeah.
And that's just, if you know anything, Christ, I'm not that old, but I'm 52, but I'm old enough that I remember, and to say that they're the ones being oppressed, it's crazy, especially when white people own damn near
70%, 70%
all the friggin' land. How is that? If they're the ones.
Well, I see people saying the same thing. I see people saying the same thing here in America, that you're better off black people get more privilege than whites. They're saying it in America too.
Exactly, and I can admit, I grew up in a pretty diverse area. And we had Black Student Union, Arabs of America. We had all these different ethnicities that had their own groups, and there was a lot of people that didn't like that in my school. You know, why you gotta have this? You know, and so even in that diverse area in the community at that time, I mean, we were still learning shit, and it's all about perspective, and that's the thing. And when things go south for too long, sometimes you gotta overcorrect a little bit, you know.
I do gotta move it on, but we got a little bit less than 3.5 years left, so we'll see how it goes out. He is.
That's it. Even 3.5 years. Oh my goodness.
Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it, Ryan. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen and get your boy on up to 65. Ryan is on point, says Thomas. Yeah. So, but I see on my clapper, he said that guy is on some serious drugs. He's clueless. Some agree with him, some don't. Tim, I had a very bad emergency phone. Sorry to hear that gangsta grandma. Looking in the comments. Tap the screen, get your boy on up to 65,000. I would not go to war. I saw that already with Pete Hegseth running the military. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. MAGA is garbage, and somebody got an actual icon of a garbage can. So it says MAGA is, and they use the garbage can emoji. Damn. Pretending as lying to his base. What about a black judge there, Ryan? What do you mean by that? Free gangsta grandma, she's doing a bid. What does that mean? Hopefully with her therapist. You guys are talking about my girl gangsta grandma. Continuing on, Tom Homan, it has said those exact same things out loud on Fox News. Tom Homan supports replacement theory? Is that what you're saying? It's not. It's not. There is literally a sign outside of my local LNDL. If 138 is a low IQ, then okay, you guys are speaking amongst each other. Nowhere in the commercial retailer in the country sells eggs for less than $1.99 a dozen. Somebody claimed that eggs was 99 cents. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I have not seen that anywhere. Tap the screen though, by the way. Get the likes on up to 65,000. We'll take the next caller shortly. Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, says the Blue Baron. Anything's possible. As I was talking with my last caller or the caller before last, I don't see it. I don't believe he's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize. I'm not saying everything he's done is bad, but I'm not saying everything he's done is good either. And he's done some look, if you're ending wars, that's a really good thing. But he's also done some things that folks would consider as really bad. Some of those deportations, when you start deporting people to countries they're not from and they don't speak the language, some of that real hardcore lack of empathy stuff, I think that could get in the way from some countries supporting him getting a Nobel Peace Prize. So we'll see, but ending wars alone, I don't believe is going to do it. That lack of empathy stuff, I believe, would get in the way. And there's a lot of I don't give a fuck about this type of person or those type of people going around right now under the Trump administration. America first. I don't care about you. America first. I mean, suspending the U.S. aid contributions. Pretty much funding what Israel is doing. Not recognizing a Palestinian state when it seems that all of our allies are slowly but surely starting to do it now. Canada, Australia, New Zealand, England, I believe they're all starting to slowly recognize a Palestinian state where Trump in America is not signing on to that. So I don't see the Nobel Peace Prize. That's just my humble opinion. I don't think they're just going to only pick out the good and ignore the bad. I don't think it works like that, but I could absolutely be wrong. Obama got the Nobel Prize and he killed thousands of innocent people with drones. Well, first of all, I don't think the world views what Obama did with the drones as anywhere near as bad as some of the things I just mentioned to Trump. I'm not saying Obama didn't do that, but I don't think the world seen what Obama was doing. And you can go back and forth on whether they judged Obama fairly or not. That's up to your opinion. But I don't think the world saw, like, for instance, comparing Obama with the drones to Trump backing Israel, I don't think they're going to see it the same way. I think the world sees Netanyahu as way worse than anything Obama did with drones. I just don't see it that way. But maybe, like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. TDS is strong, says Anthony. I think that says Anthony. Appreciate your input. Free the world of Hamas, Tim. Well, at this point, how much of a threat can Hamas really be right now? I mean, you don't even have freedom of movement in Israel. And I think they're just simply using the fact that they still have hostages in their care to just bomb them to smithereens. I mean, for instance, if you're holding up food going into Gaza, you would have to assume you're starving your own hostages too. There's no way they're going to be properly feeding the hostage while they ain't eating. So obviously Israel don't give a damn about those people. They're just using them as a ploy to keep attacking. How you going to hold up food going to the hostage keepers when you care about the guy that they're holding? You're starving him too. So clearly they don't care about those hostages. They just using that as an excuse to keep bombing. Otherwise you wouldn't hold up the food. You know they're not feeding that hostage. You're starving them to death doing that. It says it's a biased take. Yeah, look, call it what you want. The whole world, out of the world, which countries are favoring what Netanyahu's doing right now? Other than the United States, how many countries believe that what Israel is doing is self-defense or justified? How many countries are on their side right now? Most of the rest of the Western world, most of the free world view Netanyahu as a war criminal at this point. So it ain't a biased take, it's the way the world is starting to feel about it. So you can ignore my opinion on it. I'm just simply saying, when you look at the UN, when you look at NATO, all of those countries are saying the same thing I'm saying. They view that guy as a war criminal at this point. None of them view what he is doing right now as justification based on what happened on October 7th, 3 years ago. None of them view that he should still be going this far with that. That threat is long over what? I think they said like 90% of the structures in Hamas have been destroyed. 90% of the buildings, that's hospitals, that's schools, all of their churches, that's everything. Well beyond anything needed to deal with that. Hamas is not a threat at this point. They're just not. They're just using them to, I mean, when was the last time you heard the Palestinians or Hamas harming Israeli? When was the last time you even heard one of them lose their lives? I mean, it's been like well over a year. Israel's not losing anything. They're just killing people. So yeah, I don't think a Nobel Peace Prize is going to overlook that. I haven't heard of one Israeli soldier or IDF member being harmed by those folks at all, at least in a year. And I follow it every day. Every day I'm hearing, by 8 this morning, already 20 Palestinians. I mean, every day they're losing hundreds of people. The other side is damn near zero. And they still just keep killing and killing and killing. I don't think you can win a Nobel Peace Prize while you're backing that. That's my opinion. I don't think bringing up that you ended the Kosovo War or some of this other shit, when you're okay with that continuing to go on, I don't think they're going to grant him. I don't think they would grant him a Nobel Peace Prize just simply based on his support of Israel alone. And I'm not even talking about all the other shit that I brought up earlier. Anyway, look at it in the comments. And by the way, folks, this is an abbreviated live. We are going to do a real live tonight after the Putin-Trump summit is over. I just wanted to get your opinion on it, on what you think Trump, if he would have success. This is kind of a feelings over fact type live. They holding their people. And Israel doesn't care about that. In fact, many of the families of the hostages are actually also pissed off at Netanyahu, because they're looking at Netanyahu and saying, your actions are not in the best interest of my son or daughter that I'm trying to get back. You're constantly bombing and killing everybody over there. How do I know you're not striking where they're holding my son or daughter at? You're holding up food. That means my son or daughter is going hungry. There's nothing he is doing shows that he is concerned with the hostages. So until someone said, while some people are suggesting, well, they got the hostages, you should keep doing. No, what he's doing is in the worst interest of the hostages, not the best interest of them. South Park is going to have a field day with this meeting. My opinion on I think South Park might get threatened by way of Stephen Colbert. It would not surprise me if Trump is working behind the scenes shit, it wouldn't surprise me if Trump's working behind the scenes to go after anybody that's critical of him. You know, a lot of us on TikTok and social media, you can fuck with the pages to take that shit down. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's a savvy guy in regards to going after his adversaries. It would not surprise me if you hear South Park is getting taken off the air, or they go after Paramount or something like that. It would. I mean, because what isn't Paramount the same network that was over at Colbert? You ready? Okay, I believe that Paramount was the same network that was over Colbert, so I don't know. I don't feel confident that South Park is going to be doing that for very long. That's just my opinion. But South Park could always pick and show up somewhere else. Anyhow, folks, I do got to step away. Like I said, we'll do a later live to see what comes out of this summit. I appreciate the 67,000. I'll catch you guys in a few hours. You guys take care. Subscribe to my Facebook page, Tim Liberals. Follow that page. That's going to be our next live stream platform. Thank you. Catch you later.